3, 2, 1, action!
Welcome back to another empathy tale. This is Victoria Wolders from mykidslocker.com, and I am excited today to share with you a new empathy tale, creating compassion one story at a time. And this empathy tale is called The Gray Stone. Well, I hope you are all comfortable, and if you happen to have any questions or if you happen to have any ideas for future empathy tales, please connect with me on my website at mykidslocker.com. You can find this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, and maybe by now a few more podcast applications. Well, we are going to start our story now, and today, as I mentioned earlier, we are doing the story of the Gray Stone. Are you comfortable? Then I'll begin. So sometimes in our lives, we are told not to be angry. Some of us have difficulty using our anger in healthy ways. My son was angry at my daughter recently because he made an origami hedgehog for her. She said she didn't like it. Her reason for saying that out loud was that she was being honest. I told her that when we have thoughts in our minds, we have to remember that they may be helpful or hurtful when they are said out loud. Keeping her thoughts to herself and just saying thank you would have prevented anger from happening. So today our topic is on anger. Sometimes anger can cause a lot of problems when it is not controlled. Today we are going to be sharing a story about a boy whose name is David and his anger and what he does with it. While you are listening to the story about the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, you can think about when was the last time you were angry and how did it impact other people around you. Was it a response to an unkind comment? Was it something someone did to you? Was it something you did to yourself? Okay, well, here is the story. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, there lived a boy, and his name was David. He lived with his mother in the land of the northern eagles, in the village of Stone. He was angry. He always felt like life was unfair to him, and he felt like people were not nice. For some reason, he had difficulty being generous with thinking that other people are for him and helping him. He often thought that people were against him. He went through life thinking that people just didn't want to be around him, and it impacted him. His mother was known in the village to handle him in a very peaceful way. She would just sit and she would listen to him, and she soon was called the Gray Stone. Well, the Gray Stone was a symbol in the village for something that was very ordinary, quiet, and plain. Often the village had so many gray stones around, and often people didn't notice them. Many people did not notice the Gray Stone, yet everyone knew David. David was often very angry, and his mother would just listen to him. She was hurting herself, so when he became angry, she would turn still and let him be angry. This anger hurt people, and she allowed it to happen because she didn't have the skills to stop his anger from hurting other people. He would often have his mother sitting there like a stone, which means that she really wasn't looking at anything. He struggled with being around people because of his anger. One day, he was walking through the village and he saw a wizard. It was very special because this wizard had special powers. This wizard had the ability to be able to give 3 wishes. This wizard was called the Wizard of the Northern Eagle. So he turned to David and he said, I would like to give you 3 wishes. However, they cannot be reversed. David, you are as angry as thunder, and I, the wizard of the Northern Eagle, will call you Thunder, because you do not know how to control your anger. At that point, David yelled at the wizard, because he dared to tell him he was angry. The wizard responded, Thunder, I would be very careful with that anger, because one day it may cause you to make some unwise decisions. Thunder, I will come back tomorrow at dawn if you would like your 3 wishes. If you are here at the entrance to the village, I will give you your 3 wishes. But just remember, be careful of your anger, Thunder. Whatever, mumbled David. And he walked home quietly. He arrived home, and his mother, the Greystone, as villagers called her, was sitting there. David proceeded to tell her all about the wizard and how the wizard wasn't very nice to him, and how the wizard had called him the nickname Thunder. The Greystone looked at him and said, You need to be very careful. The wizard is a very wise man, and you need to be careful of your anger. Thunder ignored her. The next day, he went to the village. He saw the wizard again. He turned to the wizard and said, I like my new name, Thunder. I think I will keep it. The wizard looked at him, and he said to him, Do you want your 3 wishes? And Thunder turned to him and pushed the wizard into a puddle. The wizard was full of dirt and mud. The wizard stood up and said, Why would you do that? Thunder answered, I don't like you. I don't like you at all. And the wizard said, You know, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you 3 wishes. Any 3 wishes you want. Yet, you choose to push me in the mud? Thunder turned to him and said, I am angry. I am angry at life, and I'm angry at you. The wizard looked at him and said to him, Despite your anger and despite your violence, I will still grant you 3 wishes. The boy looked at the wizard and said, I would love to still have those 3 wishes. The boy said, My first wish is that I wish for all of the villagers just to disappear and go away. And the wizard said, Where would they go? Where do you want them to go? The boy said, Just somewhere else. Just make them disappear. So the wizard waved his hands above his head, and all of a sudden, all of the villagers disappeared. The wizard said, They are now gone. What would you like to have next? Thunder said to him, Well, hold it. I forgot. Where am I going to get my food? Where am I going to get my clothing? Where am I going to get my baked goods and our bread? Hold it. They're all gone. Where do I go for all my things that I need? The wizard said, I don't know, but you don't have any villagers anymore. At that very moment, Greystone came running because she was the only one left from outside the village. The mother, looking concerned at the boy, said, What have you done, my son? The wizard leaned over to the boy. I saved your mother because I thought she was important. The boy looked at the wizard and said, My mother is called Greystone because she just stares and doesn't do anything. I just wish she was a gray stone. Instantly, the mother turned into a round gray stone and fell on the ground. The wizard looked at Thunder and said, I would be careful of your anger. You have just made your second wish. The boy, looking surprised, turned to the wizard and said, Look what you made me do, you foolish wizard. You made me have no villagers, and now I have a mother that is a stone. I can't believe you made me do this. How could you? The wizard said to Thunder, "As I have said before, you have to be careful of your anger." The first wish was the villagers were gone. The second wish was turning your mother into a gray stone. What will your third wish be? The boy looked at the wizard. He said, "I don't know what to do. I don't know who to choose. Should I choose the villagers to come back, or should I choose my mother to come back?" The wizard, in his mercy and his grace, felt sad for the young boy. He had empathy. He knew that the boy had chosen unwisely and had used his first two wishes in anger. The wizard kindly turned to Thunder and gently said to him, "I will give you grace. I will give you mercy. You will choose your last wish now, and then in a month I will let you have a fourth wish. However, you are going to have to choose which one to wish back." He said, "Well, this is so hard because I can't live without the villagers, so I guess I'm going to have my villagers back." All of a sudden, the villagers came back. Then what happened was the boy ended up living with his aunt and his uncle for a month. He kept the gray stone in his pocket. A month later, the boy came back to the entrance of the village and met with the wizard once again. He asked to have his mother back. The gray stone was in his hand, and the wizard turned the gray stone back into his mother. Instantly, she turned back, and they hugged. The boy realized that his anger and his rage caused him to hurt innocent people and caused others to suffer. Life is a shared experience. At that very moment, the wizard, the mother, and the boy all hugged, and they realized the importance of a shared experience. And he, Thunder, began to realize that his anger was like thunder, and he would have to learn how to control his anger. He learned his lesson, and from that point on, he chose not to use anger in a destructive way, but to express it in words. He changed, and there was new life. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Victoria Wolders from mykidslocker.com, and this episode was called The Gray Stone. If you'd like to listen to more empathy tales, reach out to me through my website at mykidslocker.com. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have any ideas for stories, or if you would like to just give me some feedback on these stories, I would love to hear it, either through my social media outlets or through my website. Well, signing off today, this is Empathy Tales, creating compassion one story at a time, and hoping that you, too, will create compassion one story at a time. Thank you.
3, 2, 1.